Hey, today we're coming back with a movie review for you, or a movie that just came out. It's available on video on demand or on some theaters, so you can actually just watch it right at home. It's a movie called Haunt, um, and it's kind of wasn't a lot of promotion to it. It's got some names behind it. The writers from A Quiet Place, as you can see from the poster here, and the producer Eli Roth. Um, And when this trailer came out, I didn't really know what to expect from it. But we'll take a look at the trailer, and then I'll talk about what I thought about it. And but first, let me and kind of explain who we are. My name is Ron. We're from Haunts and Horror Reviews. Basically, we visit haunted attractions. We review them. We also try to promote haunted attractions as much as possible, as well as escape rooms. And but also in the meantime, we're doing a lot of horror movie reviews, reactions to trailers, but in this case, we're going to review this movie. So if you'd like us to, promote your haunt, we're kind of booked up for this year. But if you on Facebook, Twitter, or even on our YouTube page, you can follow us along this season. We pretty much are scheduled all the way up already. Here it is, middle of September, and we're going to have all our dates set. Going to be going to a lot of places. We review, usually within our area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. So that's who we are. Like I said, just hit us up if you'd like to see some other haunted attractions, or if you want to, if you want us maybe coming out next year, or just promote your haunt, just send us a message. And But also you can follow us. I'm going to be doing all season. Going to be doing horror reactions and horror reviews as well. But let's get to the movie. All right, here's Haunt. And let's go back and check out the trailer. Rated R. It is a little bit of gory. Obviously violence.
This cannot be good. Yes, we're doing it.
It's the end. Say goodbye.
Is this supposed to be scary?
Breathe deeply. Close your eyes. Keep the monsters from breathing. Nobody help me,
I just want to get out of here.
We just want to live.
Please don't hurt me. Do you want to see my face?
Okay, so that is the trailer. Let's go back to the kind of the page here. Maybe look at some other pictures. So when I saw this trailer, I wasn't sure, what to really expect from it. You see some of the villain, the killers. We'll get back to that in a minute. But yeah, like when it first came out, I had two concerns. I was worried right off the bat that, okay, this is going to be here's a bunch of stupid teenagers making stupid choices, going to this allegedly haunt thing out in the middle of nowhere. It's clearly just a bunch of psychopaths. But and that they wouldn't accept the characters, they wouldn't care about the characters. And there's just going to be a kind of a slash and cut them up and just horror and gore. That did not happen. I think the characters, everything in this movie, put it this way, was portrayed very realistic, as if this could possibly happen if you and your friends were dumb enough to drive off the road because you saw this sign and go into some building which looks like a storage shed, okay? Some factory where they open a door like this. That you've never heard of, and you're just going to trust these people who act weird from the start. But anyway, I digress. So I was worried about that, but that didn't happen. I mean, there's 6 characters, 2 guys, 4 girls. The 3 girls other than the main girl, her name is Harper. You don't really find out much about them. They're not really super important. They're fine, but they don't really have to try to spend a lot of time in getting you to know who they are. They're distinct enough, and you don't even really remember their names necessarily, probably other than the one other girl. The 2 guys are obviously, there's only 2 of them. One of them's the kind of the chubbier, the heavier guy, and he's big, but he's a kind of a doofus. Pretty much harmless. I mean, at one point he he steps up to somebody who had gotten in his face, one of the people in this place, and he's like, "Hey man, respect my safe space." If you use the term safe space, you can just turn in your man card. You're not a threat. So he's pretty harmless. The other guy's more an athletic kind of guy. He's fit, so he's going to be able to maybe fight a little bit here in a horror movie. The other thing I was worried about was that these are just going to be kind of the new type of villains, killer types that are just kind of cliched, boring, not really interesting. And actually, I thought they were excellent. I love the fact that each one of them is distinct. They wear a different mask and a costume. They don't really name themselves or anything, but you know who all of them are. And you didn't even know, the other thing is you don't know how many there are in this place. So like once they go in, but that, the villain's excellent. It actually felt very threatening, felt very real, very dangerous. And so just to kind of recap a little bit what happens is that they go in the place, and at first it seems like this kind of really cheesy, kind of corny, haunted house. The skeleton popping out and just, typical type stuff. But then, let me go back here. Okay. But then, things start getting a little weird, a little dicey. Things start happening. They start realizing we might be trapped in a place with a bunch of psychopaths and we don't know who they are. As you can see, the description is on Halloween. It's Halloween night. They went out to a bar and they're on the way back and they see a sign that says haunted house and they're like, hey, let's go here. A group of friends encounter an extreme haunted house that promises to feed on their darkest fears. The night turns deadly as they come to the horrifying realization that some monsters are real. And the other thing I liked about it, the third thing that really stood out was that besides the fact that it felt very real, the place felt real. I felt like somebody could build this. The villains felt really real. Just everything was very realistic. I really didn't know where the story was going to go necessarily. I mean, you kind of know that Harper, right from the beginning, is like, okay, last girl. And I'm thinking, she's going to be the last one. She's going to be survived. She's the main character. But that's fine because she's just the main character. So it's not that bad. But other than that, I didn't really kind of expect where it was going. I'm not giving any spoilers or nothing, but, except for a couple of moments where it was like, what are you doing? It was actually very good, and very surprising, and just I enjoyed watching the movie. And the other thing I thought about was that because we're into haunted houses, that's what we do, haunts. Was the fact that this can make an interesting haunted house in a way. If you did kind of a low budget, well, you're not trying to pump 200 people in, through in a conga line, but let's say you went 6 people, 8 people maybe at most at a time, and you kind of sent them through this kind of a thing, maybe in 5-10 minute increments, and you timed it so people would show up and then they would go through it at this time, where they had to do different things. Where what they have to do is crawl through tunnels, and a slide takes them into another part of the thing. They just got to do different challenges, and it's not just kind of walking through hallways and boo, jump scare, jump scare. Which is great about the movie also is there wasn't a lot of jump scares, if any. It was real kind of horror. It wasn't like fake, oh, loud noise. It was something dangerous, something that could be a serious problem. But I thought it was very cool. I also, since we do escape rooms, it also reminded me less of a haunt and more of a haunted escape room. And one of the haunted escape room is you have 60 minutes, you go through, it's usually just by yourself, so that was why I feel the same way. It was just them, and you're pretty much having to go from room to room. Usually there's only a couple of rooms, but if you had a big enough building, you could probably do something like this. I think it would be an awesome escape room if you did it that way, where they had to kind of like go through things. And even at one point, mild spoiler, there's a room that says escape room on it. And they kind of had to do, the character had to do escape room type things to get out of the room, which means find something or find clues, and that would point them towards something. So I thought that would be an interesting haunt. I think it would be an interesting escape room. But the movie overall, do I think you should see it? Absolutely yes. I enjoyed it. It's good. Fun movie in a way, even though it's people getting hurt and killed and a lot of terror. But I enjoyed the way it was made. I was interested in the story. I was interested in where it was going. So, and the experience. It wasn't just cut them up, slash them up, next one to die. It was interesting. There was challenges. But yeah, do I think you should see it? Yes. So check it out. I don't think it's very expensive to rent it to watch it on video on demand. So yeah, check it out. Just came out. Perfect movie for the holiday, the Halloween season. All right. So we'll be back with more haunt reactions, haunt reviews. So check us out if you want to hear about more horror movies. If you want to follow us as we go on our haunt trips in late September and all through October. And once again, we are Haunts and Horror, and we will talk to you later. Thanks.